Hello, brothers and sisters. This is just a follow-up message to the dream that I had posted a few days ago, and the message that God had given me to the church and to the Christians is a heart check. Heart check, heart check, heart check, right? So, how do we test if our heart is pure? And what came to mind is the litmus test. And the litmus test in chemistry is used to test a solution to see whether it's an acid or a base. And thinking about it, we can kind of apply that to our lives, right? And our heart. So if we think of a situation where we once had some hard feelings towards somebody and someone speaks that name, or you think of that person right now, how does your heart feel? Do you feel some type of something coming up, like I don't know? Or if you have peace, then you passed it, like you on the neutral side, the good side, and you pass the test. But if you are struggling, you have some feelings and you feeling some type of way about it, then that's when we need to ask God to help us work through those emotions and help us to forgive and let go, because it's important to let go, because it's not worth what's to come, and we don't want to find ourselves just being left behind. I think it's very important to add the heart check to your daily list, your routine. Constantly, we need to be checking our hearts, because it's so easy to get caught up in the day and we let things get to us and it builds up, and then over the course of time you either burst or you just feel like the rock, boulder, whatever it is, just on your shoulders. You're just feeling some weight, and the only way we can get through that is if we ask God and allow Him to work through those feelings, and ask Him to give us the strength and give that spirit of love, which we all need, to forgive our brothers and sisters who persecute us. And the Bible says in 1 Corinthians what love is. Love is patient, love is kind. Love does not keep any record of wrongdoings. We can forgive, and we should also forgive and move on, because if we forgive somebody but something comes up, right, like oh I forgive her, but so-and-so did this and that and that, what does God say about keeping no record of wrongdoings? You have to wipe the slate clean. Just as God has washed us from our sins and He forgot what we have done, and He has kept no record of our wrongdoings once we ask and repent, we should be doing the same for others here on earth, because we have the same spirit living within us. The same spirit that is within God also lives and dwells within us, and we should be disciples of the Lord and image bearers of Christ. Also, the word does talk about how many times we should forgive someone. 70 times 7 in a day. Someone keeps doing a repeated offense, you need to forgive that person continuously, because that's what God says. And constantly do a heart check. The word also talks about our heart. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And so if I'm speaking trash on somebody's name, if somebody brings up so-and-so and I'm like, well, she's this and that and yada yada yada, just speaking just trash on her name, you know where my heart's at. My heart is not in a good place. And that's also another way to test whether your heart is pure or not, or if you have forgiveness towards an individual. Picture this narrative. Our life is pretty much like us driving down a long, narrow road, just chilling, cruising, right? And sometimes we hit bumps, potholes randomly. It's like, oh, where did that come from? And that's how our heart is sometimes. This life that we're living is a race, and it's important that we finish the race with success, with victory, because the enemy is trying to disqualify each and every single one of us. And what if we're running this race 25 years strong, and that short span, those 50 yards, whatever yards that are left in that final lap, you trip up and mess up, and there it goes. The enemy got you, right? And you find yourself facing judgment, and God is like, I never knew you. That would be so terrifying. And just those 25 years, however long you've been on this earth, all in for nothing, all in just in vain. So keep that in mind, that the enemy is trying to disqualify you. He does not want you to win. He's going to try to trip you up every which way he possibly can. So it's important to continuously check your heart. People do you wrong, check your heart. When you're irritated, wipe that away immediately. As I had mentioned in my dream, right, I was angry for nothing but 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And the rapture had came. So it's very important not to hang on to that anger or bitterness. Be blessed. Let's finish this race strong. I encourage you all to daily do this heart check.
Give us clean hands, give us pure